First we start with the ones we already know. Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat.
Hey people, I want to add a couple more words to that you can't say on YouTube, or you can't write them out. You cannot spell out homosexuality, or you can't even cut it short to homos, because they're going to totally block those comments. They won't come up. Usually if I change the sort, they'll come up, but they won't let them come up either way. And insane, you might as well get a new channel, because they block everything you've ever said. They won't never let me see any of your comments. They just block every comment you've ever put up. I always notice them up here, but I can't never see them. So this word homosexual, we might have to use a different word. I think the proper Hebrew word for that was Greek fruit, and it's still the word used in the sex industry today, the Greek fruit. In that last movie, I read the first 4 lines of the 10 Commandments, Exodus 20. I'm just going to pick up here where I left off. This is who, as in WHO, who, and it means, that to see, connected, and see to. Hey boys, see to that gets done, and the one who see to that gets done is who. Who sees to it gets done. So this means who, WHO. Who pro. Pro is for, anti is against, and apo is away. And so this is for. The PRO could be pronounced as for. The foreskin sees. Who the foreskin sees, what to is. WHATTOIS. What to is, the one who has a foreskin, who would, O-U, who, and then apostrophe D-E, who would much latruce sees, what to is, latruce. So they want to say that shall you serve, the one with the foreskin you shall serve, and that's the Greek interpretation. They want to say that they want to be the boss. But this word latruces, they're trying to associate it with latria in the theology of religious worship, but you ignore all that. It comes from the word latir, to lie hid. It's where your word latrine come from, to cover up your shit. And so the ancient Greeks, they thought if you had a foreskin, you could run around naked. It covered up your shit. It wasn't obscene to be in public naked if you had a foreskin. But if you were circumcised, it was obscene. But in Egypt, it was the opposite. In Egypt, if you had a foreskin, you had to be covered up. Nobody wanted to see your foreskin. You could run around naked if you had been circumcised. And so who the foreskin sees, what to is, who would much latruce is, to hide this. What to is the Gogger. The Gogger. And so Gog and Magog. Gog means to lead, and Magog is the one which was led. And so they're saying here the one with the foreskin, what to is the Gogger, the leader. The Jimmy, the day Carias. And so the Carias, meaning the Lord, is, the one that has. If you don't own your property, if you have a note on your property, the bank is the Carias. They're the one carrying your note. They're the real owner. And to the day Carias see those sow. It will be so. If you sow something, you plant it, that's it. It's planted. It's there. Those will, to the day Carias see those sow. Those zealots, zealot, a person who is fanatical and uncompromising in pursuit of their religious, political, or other ideals. Those zealots away, away did whose. The zealots away who did whose. That was the Egyptians, the ones that cut the foreskins. Away did whose. Whose is what they're talking about. The foreskin. The foreskin. The ones who cut off the foreskin. Amartias. A martyr. Given up for religious belief. Go ahead and cut it off. Patron. Patron is a masculine hierarchy. Epi on techno. Techno is not children. Techno is the technology. And so it was written in the ancient stories as the children. The children of me is my technology on how to read the ancient language, and this would be written as my children, my technology, how to break down the language. And so upon the techno, upon Triton. So it's talking about the children of Triton. Triton was a half man, half fish god, and his children was Tritia and Phallus. And so Phallus has a little bit of a page here. In Tritia, they just got nothing on Tritia. Was the daughter of the sea god Triton and mother, and by Ares of Melanippus, who gave a town in Achaea, the name of his mother. And so this Melanippus, in Greek mythology, there's 11 people named Melanippus. And so, the math tells me that it's all the houses that the sun's not in at the time. There's 12 houses. And so if there's 11 Melanippus, it's the other 11 that the sun's not in. And so melon is the word, they give it dark or black in the Bible. Melon is black. And so it's, the 11 houses not lit, the 11 that you're not in. And so being they got no writings on Tritia, it makes me think that that's what it would be talking about. Ares, the Greek god of courage and war, he is one of the 12 Olympians and the Greek son of Zeus and Hera. In Greek literature often represents the physical or violent and untamed aspect of war, and his personification of sheer brutality and bloodlust. And this is Mars over here in Aries. Those zealots away did whose Amartias Patron. Upon Techno, upon Triton, what Hetra then? What different than the gene on? What different type of them gene on to is? And so this detesting, that's because it was a miss of feminine, the miss who see me. Poge on Helios, this chi laid as to is, agappa see me, what to is, full as so see to, prostagmata move. And so, the key is devolve, and here it's apogee on, the apogee. Apogeo, opposing the earth. And so, opposing is anything, a planet that's on the opposite side of the sun. A momento o situation in que algo allega es su máximo grado de perfección. Or a apogee, the moment or situation in which something reaches its maximum degree of perfection. And it's where your word pogo comes from. A pogo stick, boing, it's a hard-on, and its maximum reach away from the earth. A po away from the earth. away from the earth, at its highest point away from the earth. The apogee, Helios, this is the sun, and they're trying to change it to Jupiter here. Jupiter is Mercury, but this is Helios. You can see a Helios in there, and you can see Leos in there. In Helios, the sun is in the sign of Leo. This chi, chi, chi is the power center. Chi is right up in the middle of you. It's where all your power comes from, the chi, the power center, laid as 2 is a gapacy. And so he's kind of just playing with words there, but there's a gap in your plan there, a gapacy. A fantasy is totally made up, and a gapacy is there's a problem with what I'm seeing in your plan. Me, a gapacy, me, what 2 is. Fool as so, a fool as plant C, a fool as so C, 2 pro for stag, pro stag, a party for men only, mata, mother, move. There's a problem with that. How can you have a party for men only to mother? It's not going to happen. It's just something women are better at, mothering, move. So you'll notice in here that it doesn't have all the punctuation and vowel points and commas and stuff that it does in the New Testament and in some of the later books. And that's what revelation is. They didn't understand the writings, and they had a revelation when they started understanding the punctuation and when to read words backwards. And the writings are really layered, and so it makes it a lot more difficult to figure out exactly what they mean without all the punctuation. So that's why I try to stick to the Hebrew in the Old Testament. But I'm going to cut this off here, and I'm going to go back and watch the other movie where I started at the beginning of this, and I'm going to watch this and again, and I'll catch some stuff I missed, and then I'll move on to this next line in the next video. Good day.